welcome back. This will be our August practice for YouTube. It'll be a full body practice with a little emphasis on hip opening and stretching. I found that it's been really important for me lately, especially from road trips. Our hips get really tight and hiking and biking and everything we do in the summer. As a reminder, follow me on my social medias and on YouTube. So subscribing to my channel, Shakti Rebel, and then following me on my Shakti Rebel Facebook and Instagram will help support me, and I'll continue to do these free once a month classes and any other thing I add in. All the followers and comments are always welcome, really appreciated. Anything you'd like to see coming up, I really take it into account. So let's get started. So we'll find a comfortable seated position today. I'm sitting on a blanket just to lift my hips a little higher than my knees. Also, I'm bringing a block in. So if you want to use a block, some of these hip openers, if your hips are tight, are going to be harder. So in order to get into the posture, this will support your hips and protect your knees, and you'll find a deeper posture that way. For those of us with tight hips, which I'm in that boat. So we're going to start with that seated position, cross-legged. You can always sit on your knees. And you guys just always remember, I'm just here as a guide. Do what makes you feel good. If you know modifications I don't mention, go ahead and do them. You don't have to take the vinyasas every time. You can wait in child's pose or downward facing dog. So this is take it or leave it, kind of like a buffet. Take what you want, leave the rest behind. So just make this practice your own. All right, grounding down through the sits bones, and then just adjusting your body in order to find that place where you feel like your joints, your spine, everything is stacked and balanced as much as you can in this position to where you can relax as much as possible. Just relax the weight of your body down into your sits bones or whatever part of your body is touching the mat and supporting your body. And try to relax everything else. Letting the stress fall off your body, the tension in your muscles fall away. Gently close your eyes. And then just bring your awareness to your breath. Dropping that awareness down into the body. Breathing in and out, just noticing the subtleties of your inhale and your exhale. Noticing the inflation as you breathe in and the exhalation as you breathe out. The energizing on the in-breath and the softening and relaxing on the out-breath. We'll do a little bit of pranayama before we start our practice. Pranayama is the breath work, the movement of life force in and out of the body. You can keep your hands where they are on your knees or wherever they may be, or sometimes you can bring your hand up, one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. This is a good way to feel your breath. So we'll begin our very first breath. Empty out all the air in your lungs. Your next inhale, start bringing the breath to the bottommost part of your belly. Belly expands as you inhale. Ribs expand. And then finally, as you fill up your lungs, your chest may lift. And then exhale, go in reverse. Chest, ribs, belly. And then keep going with that, and I'm going to add a count. So we're going to count the beats. You can use whatever beat you have in your head. We all have a natural rhythm. So count the next number of beats for your in-breath. Lengthened, long, deep in-breath. Inhale, count those beats. At the top of your in-breath, hold it for just a moment. And on the exhale, count those beats, but try to extend and lengthen out your exhale 1 beat longer than your inhale. Keep breathing in this way, inhaling and exhaling longer than the inhale. As we breathe, as we lengthen out those exhales, especially sending messages to our body to relax, to release tension, to slow down the heart rate, to transfer from our sympathetic nervous system to our parasympathetic nervous system, where we want to be. Rest and digest. We don't want to be in fight or flight. Let's do one more round of breath here, maybe extending that exhale out, 2 more beats. And then letting go of the beats, empty out all the air in your lungs. We'll take one more breath in here, big inhale. Slow, filling up your entire lungs, opening the diaphragm. At the very top, hold your breath. You can release at any point you feel you need to release, but see how long you can hold it. Notice the stillness in your body. When you're ready, exhale out your mouth. Release your hands back down to your knees or wherever is comfortable. Returning to your natural breath rhythm. And when you're ready, we'll open our eyes. On your next inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky. Exhale, tip over to your left, dropping your left hand to the floor for just a little bit support. Keep your shoulders stacked as you lean to the left, reaching through the right fingertips, right shoulder opening, feeling the long stretch through the right side of the body. Your next inhale, coming back to center, both hands to the sky. Exhale, same on the right side. So keep the left hip grounding down. Feel the stretch all along the rib cage, down into the connective tissue of the hip. Inhale, both fingertips to the sky. And on your exhale, you're going to twist to your left. Left hand comes behind you, right hand comes to the top of the knee. Keep lifting the heart up, lift out of the seat as you do a gentle twist, gazing over your left shoulder, just warming up the spine. Inhale, arms to the sky, back to center. Exhale, moving to the other side. Keep lifting the chest. We don't want to round down here. We always want to lengthen into twists. Pretty much we want to lengthen into anything. And inhale back to center. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. And we're going to exhale, just fold over where your knees are crossed. This is where you can see I have tight hips. Some of you will be a lot closer to the ground, but we want to keep the sits bones down here. Really bringing the breath into the hips. We're not warmed up yet, so it might be kind of stiff. Just breathing here. Let the head hang. So there's a round in the spine. Draw the belly button into the spine here. Take a couple more breaths. On your next inhale, walking your hands back up to your seat. Sweep your hands behind you. Come to fingertips. And inhale, lift the heart. Let the head fall back in a natural extension of the spine. Arching the back. Inhale back to center. We're going to grab our ankles and just cross the opposite way. So most likely it's going to be your awkward side, the side we generally don't cross, or the direction we generally don't cross in. It's awkward for me. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. And then exhale, walk forward. You're going to notice a difference side to side. This side is tighter on this side. Breathing into the hip, into the glute, where you feel the tension. Using the inhales, that energizing inhales, that expanding inhale, and that exhale of softening and releasing. Again, drop your head, draw the belly button up to the spine as you round the spine here. So getting a stretch all along the back and some into the hip. Your next inhale, walk your hands up, sweeping them behind you onto fingertips. And as you inhale, lift the heart and lean back slightly, arching through the spine. And coming back to center. From here, we're going to remove the blanket if you have one. I'm going to set it out of the way. And then we'll come to all fours on your mat. Fingers spread wide. Shoulders stacked over wrists. We'll move into just a couple cat and cows, a little further opening into the spine. On our inhale, drop your belly. Roll the shoulders down your back as you lift the heart and the tail. Heart threads through the shoulders towards the front of the room. Exhale, round the spine, head and tail drop. Shoulder blades separate. Keep moving with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time. Coming back to neutral. Bring your toes, your big toes together, knees wide to the edge of the mat. And on your next exhale, drop your hips over your heels, extending the arms, and rest your forehead in child's pose. Let your forehead roll side to side, massaging that area of the third eye, loosening into the neck. If you're practicing with Ujjayi breath, you can begin to engage that here, closing off the back of the throat, allowing the breath to come in and out at a controlled pace, making an audible sound. Breathing in and out through the nose. Slowly begin to come back up to all fours. Fingers still spread wide, checking out your hands. All of your finger pads and knuckles to the mat. Curl your toes under. Inhale. And on the exhale, lift your knees. So we're just in hands and knees, but the knees are lifted. So engaging into the belly, starting to build some heat. Keep breathing. And then on your next exhale, lead with the hips all the way up to the sky and push back to our first downward facing dog, adjusting to make yourself comfortable, pedaling out the feet, one heel at a time, reaching towards the mat as you stretch the calf, the ankle, into the feet and the toes. Lifting your right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog, then stacking the hips, bending the knee into scorpion. Maybe doing a couple big circles in the hip joint. One direction, and then the other. Extending the right leg and bringing it back down to the mat. Inhaling left leg high to the sky. Exhale, scorpion. Again, if you did the hip circles, do a few in one direction on this side. And reverse. Extending the leg. And exhale, bring it back down to the mat. Just a couple breaths here. Heart towards the top of the thighs. Head hanging soft and neutral between the biceps. Tail is reaching towards the sky, heels pushing towards the mat. And then pushing just as much into all of those finger pads and knuckles as you're pushing into your feet. Just as if you want to rip the top half of the mat away from the bottom. Breaking it into 2 pieces. On your next exhale, walk your feet to the front of the mat towards your hands. Feet hip width apart. Bend your knees a lot. Let your upper body rest on the top of your thighs. Head and arms relax. Gravity pulling them towards the earth. Not supporting, not looking at the floor, looking at the back of the room so the neck is long and lengthened. Staying here, you can grab opposite elbow and you can sway side to side in ragdoll. Shaking your head, yes. Gently let it just rock in a yes motion. And no, releasing any tension in the neck. And then release the arms, straighten the legs, bring your feet together, toes touch, heels slightly apart, or you can leave them hip width. This is just a preference here. Inhale, come to your first halfway lift. Hands can come to the shins or the floor. Back is flat, shoulder blades pulled together. Exhale, forward fold and hang. Inhale, arms sweep wide as you come to stand, reaching towards the sky. And exhale, your palms come together to heart center. Closing your eyes just for a moment here. Take a moment to set your intention for your practice today. Everybody can have their own and personal intention for each day that they practice. Why are you here? Why did you take this time for yourself on the mat today? Opening your eyes slowly, we'll begin to build some heat. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands outside of your feet and step back into a plank. Inhale, shift forward onto the toes. Exhale, drop your knees, lower your chin and chest to the mat. Elbows stay to the sides of the rib cage. Inhale, release the top of the feet and slide your heart forward between your hands, lifting the heart and the shoulders off the mat in a baby cobra. Elbows pulled towards each other, shoulder blades pulled towards each other, and slide down the back. Exhale, come back to your knees, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto your tippy toes, bring your feet together to touch. Exhale, look towards the front of the mat, and you can either step or you can do your first float or hop to the front of your mat to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, heart center. We'll move on. I'll add on here. So take what you want or stay there with the first vinyasa options. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, you can step back to plank. You can hop back to plank or to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Upward facing dog, the palms and the top of the feet are the only thing on the mat. Lift the heart and pull the shoulders back. Exhale, find your way to downward facing dog. Inhale, feet come together, coming up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Step or float to forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep wide. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll add on one more time. Inhale, Arms sweep high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, and you can step, hop, or you can come into a crow. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, find your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your feet together, coming up onto your tiptoes. Exhale, step or float to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep wide, come to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to go through another sun salutation A. Inhale, arms sweep wide. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And take what options you like. Exhale, plant your hands and hop or step or crow to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right foot between your hands. Inhale to rise and high lunge. So it's a modified namaskar, Surya Namaskar. Exhale, hands come to frame the foot. Inhale, right comes back to meet the left. You can bring your toes down or keep it up. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the left foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Inhale, left comes back to meet the right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Or exhale, downward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, look forward. Hop or step. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Closing your eyes just for a moment. Notice your breath. Slowing it back down if it's sped up. Bringing the body back to the parasympathetic. And we'll move on now that we've built some heat. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. You can choose all the options here. Playing with crow or a hop. Or just move through whatever flow you'd like. Or you can go straight to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands. From here, we're going to drop our left knee, release the top of the foot. Inhale, reach the fingers to the sky. Pushing back with your right foot, drop your left hip forward. So you're pushing back with the right foot, pushing forward with the left hip. So you should feel the stretch all along that left front of the hip, hip flexor. If you'd like, bring your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers, and inhale, drop the hands down the thigh as you lift the heart. Keep breathing, releasing the hands. Inhale, and on the exhale, push back, reaching the hands forward into a half split. So hips stay square. Right hip pulls back, left hip pushes forward. Hands can come to the floor wherever you can keep your back flat. So we don't want to be completely rounding down here. We want to keep reaching. Feel as if you're pulling your right heel towards the back of the mat. So you're trying to drag your right foot back. You should feel this along your hamstring. Take a moment here as you breathe to just rock your foot side to side like a windshield wiper. Feeling that, how it changes this stretch within the hip joint. On your next exhale, come forward, bending the right knee again, planting the foot. Curl the left toes under. We're going to inhale, come up to a high lunge, trying to keep our right knee in this 90-degree angle. So we're not trying to move the right knee very much. We're going to come into a flow just for a couple times. Inhale, reach long and strong through that back leg. Exhale, lower the left knee to the floor. Come to cactus arms. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come back to high lunge. And exhale, warrior two. So drop the left foot to a 45-degree angle, or it can be in line with the back edge of the mat. Just due to your anatomy, make whatever feels right. You don't want to hurt your ankle, but you do want to have heel to arch alignment. The right heel should align with the arch of your left foot, pushing energy in the back, into the back edge of your left foot, rotating your torso to the left slightly so it's centered over your body, and reaching through the hands, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior, stretching through the right side of the body. Keep the deep bend in the right knee. Inhale, and exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow to the right knee, stacking the shoulders, reaching the left fingertips, long straight line through from the left foot to the fingertips, or you can drop your hand to the floor. Extended side angle. Inhale. And on the exhale, come to rise, straightening the right knee. Cartwheel the arms around for reverse triangle. Another stretch along the right side of the body. It's beginning to warm up in here. Inhale, we're gonna slide our left hand down our thigh as you reach your right hand out over the right foot as far as you can without turning towards the foot or crumbling. And then exhale, just tip over, lifting the left hand and stacking the shoulders in triangle. Right hip tucks under, trying to stack the hips, pushing energy into the left foot. Don't lock out the right knee. And lengthen through the spine. If it hurts your neck to gaze up at your left hand, you can gaze down at your right foot. Breathing. On your next inhale, bring both hands down, just fingertips to frame the right foot at the front of the mat. Inhale, and exhale, you're going to push off, lifting the left foot high to the sky into standing splits. So from here, we have options. Keep your gaze at the back side of the room. Find a drishti, a focal point. This is balance. Engage through the left glute to lift the leg high. Maybe lift one hand for balance. Maybe both come to hands at the heart center. Keep breathing. My balance isn't the greatest this morning, I can tell. On your next inhale, gaze down at the floor in front of your toes, maybe bringing fingers down, or you can try this, hands at heart center. Bend in both knees and come into your Shiva squat. Left knee to the right calf, tucked in. Keep your deep, deep lunge here or squat in the right hip. Inhale, come to stand, bringing that left knee up in front of you. Flexing the left toes back towards the shin. Exhale, sit down into your chair, setting your left ankle on top of your right knee. Really sit back into that chair. Sit deep. Keep the left knee opening so you can feel that hip stretch. Hands can stay at heart center. Maybe they can come to the floor. I'm going to give you some options. These are just options. This is more advanced arm balance here. I can't do the full expression of the pose, but I'm working on it, so I'm going to share it with you guys. So if you can, if hands can come down to the floor, shift your weight into your hand. Hug your right bicep with your left toes. Your left knee sits on the back of your tricep, or tricep on your left arm. Start shifting your weight into your hands. Gaze forward like you were in crow and lift the right foot. The full expression would be lifting and straightening that right leg. I almost fell, so I'm coming back. Whenever you're ready, come back. Push yourself back so you're standing on your right foot. So those are just options. If you didn't take it, you should be here. This is a hip stretch. We stay in hip stretches long because they take a long time to open. It's our strongest, biggest joint in our body. As we come to stand, grab the outside of your left foot with your right hand, open your left arm, and extend as far as you can, twisting to the left. You may not be able to straighten that left foot all the way, but if you can't, it's okay. Feeling the stretch along the IT band here. Gazing back down, we're going to come into half moon. So keeping our arms straight, gaze at the floor, and just swing that left leg out behind you. Stacking shoulders, stacking hips. Here's another option here. We're going to come into Chapasana or Sugarcane pose if you'd like to. Gaze at the floor in front of your toes, bending your left foot and grabbing the outside of your left foot, and then kicking up into the hand, opening the heart, opening the shoulder, opening the front of the left hip. Keep breathing. Releasing the foot if you have it in your hand. Inhale, and on the exhale, dropping that left foot down, framing the right foot with your hands. Inhale, bring the left foot back to meet the right or keep it lifted. Exhale, move through your flow, or just go to downward facing dog. So we'll do the same thing on the left side. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, bring the left foot forward, dropping it between the hands, dropping the right knee. Release the top of the right foot. Inhale to rise. Right hip shifts forward as you push back into the left foot. And if you took that heart opening option, bring your hands behind you, maybe opposite finger on top. And then on an inhale, lift the heart, sliding the hands down the back of the right thigh. Wow, it's warming up in here. Releasing the hands. On an exhale, shift back into your half splits. So arms come forward to support you here. Keep reaching the heart forward over the leg. Left hip pulls back, right hip shifts forward. So those hips should be square. And then windshield wiper the foot side to side, noticing how it changes the sensation of the stretch in the hip. Just imagine just moving that hip socket. So that ball in that socket. And release. Shifting your weight forward back into your left foot, left knee bent, stacked over the ankle. Curl your right toes under. Inhale, come to a high lunge. We're going to come into that flow. So just trying to move that back leg, not up and down with the left. Nice and strong in that back leg. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arm, tap the knee. Inhale, rise. Cactus arm, tap the knee. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to rise and exhale, warrior two. So that same heeled arch alignment. Make sure you can see the big toe on your left foot, so we don't want our left knee to fall in. Keep opening it. Gazing soft just beyond our left fingertips. Our next inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the deep bend in the left knee as you lift up and out of the left hip, stretching through the rib cage. Inhale and exhale, extended sine angle. Long straight line from your right foot to your left fingers, elbow to the knee or hand to the floor. Keep reaching as long as you can here, stacking the shoulders. Again, if it ever bothers your neck looking up, you can look down. Just keep opening that and stacking the shoulders, opening the right shoulder or top shoulder. Your next inhale, straighten the left knee, reverse triangle. And exhale, reach the left hand out over the left leg. Once you've reached as far as you can, lift the right hand and stack the shoulders in triangle. Keep lengthening out over the legs, so making space between the ribs. We don't want to like crunch down. It's long. So if you can't lengthen, then come up a little bit. You can have your hand on your shin, wherever it's comfortable, wherever you can find that length and stacking. Inhale, and on the exhale, bring both hands forward and kick off into your standing splits. I'm running out of room here. Finding your drishti, finding your balance. Let's play here. Maybe bringing hands to heart center. I am so wiggly on both sides today. It's funny how balance changes day to day. Bring your gaze forward, maybe dropping your fingertips, or for a challenge, you can keep your hands at heart center. Find your Shiva squat. Right knee to right calf. Tuck the heel in to the glute and sit back. Long spine, shoulder blades pulled together. Strong through the back. Your inhale, come to stand. Right foot comes up in front of you. Preparing for that standing figure four. Exhale, place the, whoa, I almost fell. Place the ankle on the knee and sit back. So here's where we can play with that flying pigeon. I cannot do flying pigeon, but this is as close as I can get. But it's fun to start playing with these arm balances. And so I'm just giving these options for anybody who wants to play. Sitting really deep into this chair, maybe reaching, find a place where it's comfortable for your legs to be. I keep getting bruises on the top of my thighs. Hands come down if you want to play with the arm balance. Hugging that left bicep with the right toe. So really, that's an active thing. Shifting forward, maybe lifting the foot. And staying here and breathing. Whoa. If you can extend that leg, go for it. I cannot yet. When you're ready, come back. Try to keep the leg crossed, finding your way back into that standing figure four. On your next exhale, come to standing, grabbing the outside edge of your right foot as you come to standing. Find your drishti, and then twist to the right, extending the right leg. Feeling the IT band stretch. Keep breathing. Bring your gaze back down to the mat in front of you. On the exhale, release the foot and just let it hinge over into half moon. With your option here, stay here in half moon, stacking shoulders, stacking hips, or bending the right knee, grabbing it with the foot or hand, and then kicking into that hand. Releasing the foot if you have it, and exhaling, bringing that right foot back to the back of the mat. Planting your hands, left foot comes back to meet it, or staying lifted If you did that on the other side, moving through your flow. Really building heat here. We have one more really big movement flow here, adding some more postures. And then we'll begin to slow it down. Slowing down your breath for a couple breaths here. As we get ready for our last push in the practice. Inhaling, lifting your right leg high to the sky. Exhale, come forward, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, curling forward, knee to nose. Inhale, and exhale, bring the knee to the left elbow. Pause for just a moment. Extend the leg, setting it down. Flex the toes back towards the shin. From here, stay on your hands. We're just gonna do a little bit of movement here. Bend into your right knee, bend into your left knee. Feeling the stretch along the different edges of the hip joint. Straightening the legs. We're gonna inhale, come into Fallen Star. Rotate open to rest on your right hand. Lift the hips, open the left arm. Breathing. Exhale, bring your right hand back down to the mat. Inhale, tucking that right knee underneath the body. Exhale, slowly and controlled, flip that right foot over the body, lifting the hips back into Wild Thing. If you don't have Wild Thing in your practice, you can come, as we were here, you can come into three-legged dog. With the right leg lifted. Keep lifting the heart. Inhale. And on the exhale, we're gonna come into lizard. So trying to keep our right hand from coming down if it's possible. This is a challenge. Lift the right foot back up. Slowly rotate the weight and bring your right foot to the outer edge of the mat. If you had to come down, laugh at yourself. Be playful. Once our right foot is planted, make sure the knee is over the ankle. Drop the left knee. Release the foot. From here, we're going to angle our right toes out slightly. Bring weight into our left hand and exhale. Gently push our right knee away from us. Feeling the change in the stretch in the hip here. So toes of the right foot stay engaged, pulling towards the shin. You can stay here, or lifting the left foot, reach back and grab the foot with the right hand. Breathing into the hips. Breathing into the space as you feel that tension. Using the quality of the exhale to soften into that tension. We're nice and warm, so we should be able to get a good stretch in the hips. If you ever feel pain in the knee and these hip openers, come out. There's lots of other options. Gently release the left foot down. Bring both hands down to the mat as you heel toe your right foot across the mat until you can set your right knee down next to your right wrist. Here's our Pigeon Pose. So for here, we do have some issues, people with knee issues. There are other things you can do. If this hurts your knee, definitely come out, because our knees are delicate and we need to take care of them, as do our whole body, but we don't want to hurt our knee just trying to open our hip. Slide your left leg back and try to keep the hip square. So we don't want to roll and drop our right hip. We'll stay here. Lift the heart. Keep your right toes drawn back to protect the knee. And if your knee is sore, come out and come into figure 4. Staying here, or you can come into the bind, reaching back for the left foot, tucking into the elbow. You can try and balance through this, reaching the right hand high. It all depends on your flexibility here. If you're flexible in your hips and you have a lot of mobility in your hips, you could be totally resting. For me, since I'm not totally resting on the ground, this is adding some core work and some balance because I'm keeping myself up, falling to one side, from falling to one side. Breathing. If you lifted the left foot, gently let it come down. Keeping your body square, inhale. And on the exhale, walking your hands forward into sleeping pigeon, coming to wherever you can come to. So I'm able to extend my entire body out. Some people will be right here. Some people can rest their heads. What we want to find here to find the relaxation in the hips is to really release the rest of the body so that the hips will release. So if you're here and you can't rest your head on the mat and you don't have a block with you, you can stack your fists. So try to find a place where you can rest your head and your shoulders. Blocks work. Wherever you are, release and bring all your concentration, your awareness into the hip and the glute. Breathing, inhaling into the edge of that tension. And exhaling to soften and release. Your next inhale, slowly come back up to your hands. We're going to lift our right knee and move it more to the center of the mat. This is only so that we don't move off of our mat. And then let your body fall to your right hip. From there, lift the left leg, swing it all the way around, crossing your left leg or your left foot over your right knee. So your right knee should be facing forward. Open your right foot enough to where you can bring both sits bones down. If this is not possible, options are extending the right leg and keeping the left leg crossed. Or here comes the block. If you don't have a block, you can use blankets, you can use books. But this, bringing that block underneath will help you reach this. So from here, got the legs crossed, find both sits bones so you're nice and square. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand comes behind you for support. You can either hug the right or the left knee into the chest with the right arm, or you can hook the elbow and twist. I find that if you hook the elbow, it deepens the twist. But if you hug the knee in, I feel a lot more stretch in the outer hip. Keep using the left hand, opening that left shoulder to like a kickstand on a bike, so it's supporting you, keep supporting the length in your spine. Keep breathing. Our hips are said to hold negative emotions, so this can be uncomfortable. We don't want pain, but uncomfortable is normal. Releasing back to center. This is where I use my block for real. We're going to come into cow face pose, just the leg part. So we're going to, if you have open hips, you'll be able to do this easier, but we're going to pull that pull your left leg further over. We're trying to stack the knees and the feet come alongside you. From here, I'm going to, since I have a block, I'm going to lift my hips. This really helps for anybody who has tight hips. It brings you up. It helps your knees stack and not hurt. So this is where I am. If you're on the ground, we want knees stacked, feet beside you. And then wherever you are with your hands, if you know the arms, I'm not going to show the arms because right now I'm focusing on the hips. If you know the arms and you want to add them, go ahead. You can stay here, but relax the hands. Some people push into the floor or grab their feet. Relax, open the palms to the sky so that the body releases. We want to release the whole body in order for the hips to think it's okay. It's sending the message, it's okay, let's relax. You're safe. You can also fold forward here, just feeling the deep stretch in your hips. Again, we don't want to have pain in the knee. Come out if you're feeling any of that. Our next transition is weird, only in that we move off the mat. So we'll have to do like a weird downward dog walk back on the mat. You'll see what I mean when we're there. So breathing. And releasing the block out from under your hip. Then shift forward. If you need to push off from behind you, you're going to bring your weight into your left knee. Lift your right leg behind you. Curl your left feet, or your left toes underneath you, and shift back into three-legged dog. Stay here. Bring your right foot down to downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa. I know we're off the front of the mat. We will find our way back in my own signature dog walk. Walking back to your space on the mat. We have the same thing to do on the left side. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, bringing the knee to the left elbow. Inhale, high to the sky. Knee to nose, rounding into it. High to the sky. Knee across the body. My block is in the way. To the right elbow. Extend the foot, flex the toes back. And then try to square the body to the mat here. We're just going to do that movement, bending into the left knee. And then the right. Left. And the right. Straightening out the left leg. Strong through the toes. On your next inhale, rotate open, flattening your right foot. Lift the heart, lift the hips, fallen star. Keep breathing. Your next exhale, bring your right hand down, rotate towards the mat. Inhale, lift the left knee up into the chest. Exhale, wild thing. Or three-legged dog, like I told you last time. If you don't have wild thing in your practice, lift the hips, reach the heart, reach the left arm. Bringing your gaze down to the mat, lift the right, or your left leg, sorry, whoa. And then we're gonna, as slow and with control, see if you can do it with your arms still reaching forward. Gently place the hand or the foot to the front of the mat. Hands come inside of the left foot. If you need to move it a little further towards the edge of the mat, you can do that. And then drop the right knee, release the top of the foot. Coming into lizard, angle your left toes out at an angle here. Bring the weight into your right hand. And exhale, gently push the left knee away from the body. Staying here, or if you did it on the other side, you can reach back for the right foot with the left hand. Allowing the front of the right hip to open towards the mat. Feeling the stretch in the left hip as the knee falls open. And a little stretch through the left side of the chest and the shoulder. Gently releasing the right foot back down to the mat. Bring your hand back down to the mat and then heel toe the left foot across the body until you can set the knee down next to the left wrist. Slide the right leg back for pigeon. Again, if you have knee pains or problems, come into figure 4. Stay here or lifting the foot, finding any type of bind, maybe staying here or finding that balance. Keep breathing wherever you are. If you lifted the right foot, gently let it release. Inhale and exhale, fold forward into our sleeping pigeon. Finding whatever option you did on the other side with a block or your hands, however you can, find a way to rest your head and reconnect with your breath. Breathing in and out of the hip joint and the glute. These hip openers are postures for me that were for so many years a love to hate posture. Now I just love them. But most of them come into that sensation that's not pain, but it's uncomfortable. But it has made the most difference in my body, me personally. I know that for most of us, just in our society and the way that we live, not only athletes that like to hike and run, but we also sit at jobs that we have. We sit in cars. We have tight hips. And by opening these hips, like keeping them nice and supple and flexible, we are creating not only healthier hips, but healthier back, healthier knees. It changes the way we walk. Everything above and below that joint, the joint of our hips, as for anything else in our body, is affected if that joint is affected. And not only that, when we open our hips, we're releasing that negative energy where we store it. We also store it in our shoulders and our neck and our jaw. Your next inhale, coming back up to your hands. Lift your left knee slightly, moving it to the center of the mat. Then fall over to your left hip. Bring your hands to the mat. Lift your right leg up, crossing it over, and then finding your sits bones, both of them squarely on the mat. So if you have to extend that left leg, go ahead. If you have to sit on a block, inhale, arms lift high to the sky. Exhale, twist to the right. Again, you can hug the knee in for a deeper stretch into the hip, or hook the elbow and find a deeper twist. But keep pushing into the right hand to lift the heart, using that support like a kickstand to keep lengthening into the twist, into the stretch. Releasing back to center. If you used a block on the other side, go ahead and get it here. Bring it in under your hips. If not, ooh, wrong way. My hips aren't that small or narrow. Stacking the knees, finding the cow face posture. So knees stacked, feet alongside you, wherever you are along the ability of this posture. There's lots of little levels to this. And some people just anatomically will never be able to do this. I don't think I will. But the more I work at it, the healthier my hips feel. I used to have chronic pain in my hips. So all these hip openers are really great. Keep breathing. Again, if you're holding on to anything, let it go. We do that unconsciously. When I teach in person, I can see people, and even if they've taken my class every week or every other day, they'll grab their feet or they'll interlace their fingers, and I say, let go, and they let go. And I think it shocks them every time that they just naturally do that. But as we release the rest of our body, it's sending a message to our hips to release. And that's what we want. That's the goal we have here. Our next transition is going to be that funky one where we move off the mat. I'm glad my face isn't in the wall. So wherever you are, if you're on a block, remove it carefully. And then push your way all the way forward to all fours. So come forward enough to where your hands are underneath your shoulders. You don't want too short of a stance. I'm completely off my mat, which is okay. Just one thing that we need to do here. Lift your left leg up behind you. Curl your right toes under. Inhale, and on the exhale, come into three-legged dog. Staying here, bringing your foot down in downward facing dog, or taking your vinyasa of your own choice. Once you're in downward facing dog, we'll do my signature dog walk back or walk the dog. I don't know what sounds better. Back into our downward facing dog. Closing your eyes, taking a couple breaths here. Our last flow, beginning to slow it down, almost done, coming to the end of our practice. We're going to do a couple core things. On your next inhale, we're going to roll forward. Inhale, right, lift the heels, lift the tail, rounding through the back as you come all the way forward into plank. We're going to stay here in plank for a few breaths. Belly drawn in, keep breathing. Staying here, or you can lift your right leg. Maybe lift your left arm. Trying to stay square. And then bringing him down. If you did one side, do the other. Lift the left leg. Maybe come up onto your fingertips, your right hand. Maybe lift your right hand. And then bringing it down. Man, I'm shaking. I think you probably hear it in my breath. And then on your exhale, lower your elbows one at a time or all at once. Down into, I can't remember the name of this pose right now. I'm sorry, guys. Staying here, reaching the heart back, pushing into the shoulders, and then lowering to your knees. Walking forward, crossing at the ankles. And then shifting back into your seat. We're going to inhale, straighten your legs. You can have them bent too. It's easier bent. Straight is harder. Throw a little Pilates into here. Legs come together. Zip them up. Don't let them come apart. Point your toes. Inhale, sit tall. Arms reach to the sky. Exhale, keep your belly drawn to the spine. Round the spine like a C. And slowly, starting with the tailbone, round one vertebra at a time, each setting down separately until you are on your back. A couple more core things, and then we'll finish off our practice. Knees come to tabletop. Bring your hands behind your head. Fingers just support your head slightly. Inhale. And we're going to exhale, lift our shoulders and our head. Inhale, exhale, reach the right leg as you twist towards the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 5 more, or 4 more, sorry. Last 2, 2, and 1. Inhale to center and release. Bring your hands down beside you. We'll do 3 leg lifts. Hands come to a triangle. Bring your thumbs right under that tail. This is just for support. Keep your low back touching the mat. And inhale, exhale, lower. 3, 2, 1, down. Exhale, 3, 2, 1, up. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, down. Inhale, exhale, 3, 2, 1, up. One more, breathe in, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold, exhale, 3, 2, 1, up. Release your hands, try not to grip the floor. Inhale and exhale, lift the hips using your core and not your hands as much as you can. Coming into plow, maybe your toes touch the floor behind your head. Make sure there's no weight in your neck. It's all in your shoulders, rounding through the spine, getting that stretch. On your next exhale, slowly using the muscles of your core to lower your spine back down. From here, bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat, arms alongside your body. Crush your right ankle over your left knee. Inhale and exhale. Bring your knees into your chest. You can have your left leg extended if you can't grab around the shin. But pulling your legs in, keep your right toes drawn towards your shin, and then rotate your left ankle in one direction and reverse. Slowing it down. Releasing your hands, open your hands like wings. Keeping your legs where they are using your core. Exhale, let your legs in the same position fall all the way to the left till your foot comes to the ground. Grabbing your foot with your left hand, just to keep it there. Then twist your upper body to the right, gazing at the right hand, finding a twist with that added hip opener on the right side. On your next exhale, bring your legs back to center, uncrossing and switching side, left ankle on the right knee, lifting, drawing the legs towards the body, left toes towards the shin. Rotate the right ankle. And reverse. Releasing the arms, inhale, and on the exhale, let the legs fall to the right. Letting the left shoulder come down. Gaze over at the left hand. Twisting through the torso, but feeling that stretch in the outer part of the left hip. Releasing, bringing your legs back to center. Knees into the chest. Open your knees wide. We'll come into happy baby. Grab the outside of your feet or peace fingers around the big toes. And then bring the soles of the feet aiming towards the sky. Pull the knees down outside of the chest towards the floor. So we're going to really focus on this posture. If you want to rock side to side as we normally do, you can. But we're going to really focus on the posture itself. So feet aiming up, ankles stacked over knees. Knees drawing down towards the floor. Don't let your tail lift. Bring it back down. So our entire spine, all the way through our sacrum, is flat on the mat. Bring the shoulders back down to the mat. See how that changes the stretch and the posture. Notice your belly expanding and contracting as you breathe. And release your legs. Extending your legs out for our final resting posture in Savasana. Legs long, feet wide, about as wide as the edge of the mat. Let them fall open naturally. Arms spaced away from the body, just enough to be comfortable. Lift the chest up off the mat and tuck the shoulders under slightly to find that release. And then lift the head, tucking the chin slightly, set the head back down. And then just shake your hips side to side. Let's start with the feet, actually. Shake your feet. So your entire legs are just shaking out any movement or tension. Then soften the feet and the legs. Totally relax. Wiggle the hips side to side, shaking out any tension. And then come to stillness. And then the shoulders and the rib cage. Release. And then the arms. And release. And then the head. And release into stillness. Letting go of Ujjayi breath. That was part of your practice. And if you're ready to turn off this recording now, move on into your day, I just urge you to stay for these last few moments in our Shavasana pose. It is just as important as any posture or flow that we do in the practice. It is that space between our practice and the rest of our day, our life. It is that time of integration, that time of pause. If you've made it this far in your day, to come to your mat and give yourself the gift of this practice, your practice. Give yourself the gift of finishing with the Savasana. Allowing your thoughts to silence. I heard a good analogy the other day. It really works when I'm struggling to meditate. Imagine that your mind is a river and your thoughts are stumps. Stumps are logs floating in the river. And you're floating along. If you grab onto one of those stumps, you have to work to grab it, or you're pulled in the current. It's going against the current. So just stay, watch as those stumps float by you. Don't grab them, just let them float by and continue with the flow. If you notice that you've grabbed on or attached to a thought, just noticing is good. Then you're able to let it go. Coming back to awareness, your body awareness, coming back to stillness, being the observer. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back into your body. Slowly begin to bring awareness back into your body. Bringing in little movements, wiggling your fingers, your toes, circling your hands,
and your feet. When you're ready, bring your legs together, arms come overhead, stretching the longest stretch you've had. Make yourself as long as you possibly can. Fingers to toes reach away from each other. On your next exhale, hug your knees into your chest. You can stay here with your head on the mat, or you can come into a ball, lifting all the way up. When you're ready, carefully roll to one side. Just acknowledging that intention that you made for your practice today. And keeping your eyes closed. As soon as you are ready and at your own pace, come back up to a seated position. Facing the front of the mat or facing the camera. We'll unify our next breath together, arms come wide. Inhale, reaching as you're gathering up energy, bringing it between your hands at the top. Exhale, draw your hands down the center to your heart center. Thank you, everyone, for coming and sharing the practice with me. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a good rest of whatever the day has left for you. I hope to see you again. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for practicing again. Follow me on YouTube, Shakti Rebel, and on my social medias at Shakti Rebel. Leave comments or suggestions. I love to hear them. Tell your friends, help promote. I will keep doing these free classes, and hopefully as I grow, I can start doing more. Stay in touch. Stay safe. Thank you.